I've always been fascinated by deer. I think that they're natural to the area. There's 250 acres here. We fenced 200 acres of it, and prior to us doing that, it was unusable land which was overgrown with weeds, and so we went through a process of getting the weeds, the bracken and things off, and then looked at what best use for the land was. So I thought, actually, let's keep it as natural as possible and keep it for deer. When we first set off, the ground was pretty much unusable. It was completely infested with bracken, brambles, weeds. You couldn't even take the dog for a walk up there, it was so thick. Now that we have returned the ground to natural hillside, we have to work hard every year, making sure that the weed infestation and things don't get back. And we try and do that in as much of a natural way as possible. One of the ways of doing it is when we feed the deer, we might feed them potatoes and things into the fallen down bracken, and so they'll go in with their hooves and they will scratch and scrunch it at it, whereby killing the bracken and weeds at the roots. We try and get our deer to lead as close to the life they would lead in the wild. They live in a mixed age herd. We don't take the calves off their mums. They live in family groups. During the rut, we let the stags fight it out, so they live as close to the life that they would lead in the wild as they possibly can. If these deer were released, some of the deer would wander off onto the hill, and I think they would be absolutely fine. I think that they would live perfectly normally. Most of the deer would try and get back into their home, and when the deer do escape, and they do occasionally, we leave a gate open, they come back in by being tempted by food, and so they would survive in the wild because they are still a wild animal, but they like actually being in where they are at home. I think the family have all enjoyed it. The most beneficial aspect is the fact that we have a piece of hillside that we can actually use. We can go up on the hill, we can take the dogs for a walk. We've got two lovely little locks up there which were completely unused before. We also employ a member of staff. Part of his salary is paid for by the deer farming operation, and it contributes to the costs of running this place.